It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
We've got Republican gubernatorial candidate on the line. Welcome back, folks. We've got Jan Morgan. Jan, thanks so much. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm telling you, there's so much energy right now coming from you, your campaign, not just on social media, but these events that you're packing out. I mean, that's got to be encouraging to you that you are being so well received everywhere you go across the state.
It is, Paul. I'm really excited. The momentum has been building, and it's to the point where, the original political pundits in Little Rock who were saying there's no way, and they were saying this several months ago, there's absolutely no way Jan Morgan can win this thing. Now, those same talking heads are having to back up and prepare for the possibility of a victory. In fact, yesterday, the guy from Hendricks, Jay Barrett, said in the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, he made the following statement: if Jan Morgan wins the primary, this will be the biggest political upset in Arkansas history.
Yeah.
The fact that he made that statement is huge, and it's his way of saying, these people might actually pull this off. Yes, it's very exciting.
Yeah, it's extremely exciting. And I'll tell you this. So KATV, Channel 7, does a report on one of your visits, and they interview a woman, and she says, we had Asa here. We had heard him speak, and we put a sign in our yard for Asa for governor. And then we heard Jan speak, and we couldn't get home fast enough to take his sign out and put a Jan sign in. Now, that was an earthquake. That broadcast across the state, and that was an earthquake because you're having that effect on everybody, and that's why he didn't want to debate you. He didn't want to debate you because your message would get out to more people, and he knows that this state is more conservative than he's governed.
Well, no, yes, and he doesn't want to debate me because he knows I'll call him out on his record, and I'll tell people the truth, and suddenly the emperor will be standing there with no clothes. He knows in a debate all of those messages that he's been putting out in his ads, his misrepresentation of his record. He knows if we're on a debate stage on statewide TV, I would call him out on that and force him to tell the truth, and I would tell the truth to the people, that all the things he's saying in his ads are not complete truths, and in fact some of them are outright lies. And so, of course he doesn't want to be on the debate stage with me, but the fact that he would debate me this entire season from January 1 till today should be reason enough to cost him this election.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as Republicans, the Republican Party is a party of ideas, not afraid of debate, and so, why wouldn't he want to debate? I mean, I think we all know it's obvious. Jan, you had a post, I think, last night on Facebook. I was watching some of it, and you were talking about the stakes here. The stakes. Tell us what the stakes of this election are.
The stakes are extremely high for not only the Republican Party, but for Arkansas and for the people of this state. Here's what's going to happen. If Asa Hutchinson has done all the things he's done wrong that have cost the people and cost this state, his first 4 years, knowing he has to run for re-election, what do you think he's going to do the next 4 years, totally unbridled, knowing he doesn't have to run? His policies will continue to be extremely destructive for the people, for the regular folks of Arkansas. We will see more tax increases. We'll see more increased government spending, and his record will be so egregious that the Republican Party will go down in flames as being the party responsible for the most out-of-control government spending in state history. We will be the party that goes down in history as the party that increased taxes on the citizens at a higher rate than any party in history, and it will be difficult for Republicans to win a race after 4 years, which is why I'm telling people, if we don't win this primary, I'm not going to be able to run in 4 years.
Yeah, that's a great point, because the media will call Republican, whatever Asa's done, when it all crumbles down, they'll call it conservatism when, in fact, conservative limited government ideas haven't been tried in the first place. I mean, it's the same thing they did with George W. Bush when it came to, he grew government more than any other president before. And then Obama came in and obviously shattered that record. But, the media, and then the economic collapse happened and everything else. And the media said, the conservatives, we tried it the conservative way. It's like, well, no, we actually didn't try to limit government and limit spending and everything else. And yet you get the blame for it. So you're exactly right. I've had that hypothesis the whole time. The media will turn, they defend Asa right now, but they will turn on him and call it conservatism's fault when we get the disastrous results of big government and the pitfalls that are obviously there. We're talking.
Yes, and let me
go
tell
ahead.
you something else, Paul. The legislators and the state elected officials who have hitched their trailer to Asa's truck, who think they're going to be able to run in 4 years as conservatives and win, they are wrong. The people who are promoting him and attaching their trailers to his truck are going to go down in flames with him and going to be held responsible for misleading the voters into voting for him. There have been several elected officials who I know are conservative or say they're conservative and who told me, on phone conversations, this man, we cannot continue 4 more years. His policies are destructive. And then because of pressure from the economic elites and the people who control them with purse strings, are the same people that convince these people to turn around and say, I'm endorsing Asa. And those people are going to go down with Asa when he goes down in 4 years. They're not going to be able to run for election and win. You can count on that because I'm going to keep reminding people, for example, people like Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin, who's decided all of a sudden, who said all along Asa is the problem, to be in phone conversations, and now he's attaching his trailer to Asa. Tim Griffin's not going to be able to win this election in 4 years. He's going to go down. If Asa wins, he's going down with him in 4 years. And let's see who's going to be able to run as a Republican 4 years from now.
Yeah, you make a good point. And to verify what you're saying, you had a lot of legislators scratching their head. They followed Asa, and they followed, the family members in the Senate. They followed the agenda. They did everything they were supposed to do, and then they couldn't figure it out. Why they got such bad scores from American Conservative Union, Americans for Prosperity, Conduit for Commerce, and Family Council. And they were like, I don't understand. It must be a conspiracy against Republicans. And it's like, no, these organizations are independent of one another, and they are scoring based on what you have done, based on the policies that you have enacted, and they're scoring them negatively, and that's why you have bad scores. So you may want to think about, who you're following. And Asa's trying to be the leader of the Republican Party. And to your point, Jan, look where he's taken them. He's already taken them to the place where they get bad scores from all of these independent conservative organizations.
Exactly. And it's going to get worse in the next 4 years if he wins this primary. But, Paul, I am believing that people are going to get out and vote. And if more people vote, we win because our base is excited. They're out there talking to their friends. They're talking to their neighbors. And I'm just hoping and praying. And I think the political pundits are seeing it, too, that we might actually pull this off. And if we do, that is going to be monumental in Arkansas history, and it is going to be national news.
It's going to be, yeah, you're right. It's going to be national news. And it was a big deal that Jay Barth did say that. And I'm telling you, the vibe that I'm getting, I talked to some reporters, and they were saying, yeah, so a lot of people we know are voting for you. And I talked to one guy, and I'm getting this more and more. People are optimistic. I talk to people, I say, who's going to win? They say, well, Jan's going to win. I'm like, well, why do you believe it? He was like, well, I voted for her. And he says, I can't find anybody that's voted for Asa. All the people that I know have said they voted for Jan. Now, that's not a scientific poll or anything, but I'm hearing that from so many people that say they voted for Jan, and everybody in their sphere of influence voted for you. And so it's extremely exciting right now.
It is, Paul, and here's what's going to happen. If we do this, we the people pull this off in Arkansas, it is going to continue the tidal wave that Donald Trump started, proving that you don't have to have multi-millions to win, and proving that if you truly get people out there with grassroots campaigning, putting boots on the ground and talking to their friends and neighbors and talking about politics instead of, being quiet about it and getting involved, that the people can actually win. And when people see this around America, that the folks in Arkansas did this, I think you're going to see more of it happening around this country. And that truly will make America great again.
And that's exactly
I'm just
right.
proud that we could be the starter of it here in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I am too. And of course, you were the national spokesperson. Let's remind everybody, you were the national spokesperson for Citizens for Trump. And so what Donald Trump, and I wasn't a supporter of his in the primary, but he was the obvious choice. And look, he has done amazing things in terms of where the direction of the country where it is, and he's clearly an outsider because he's treated that way by people from both parties. And that's the
and I've been treated like an outsider from the establishment end of the Republican Party in Arkansas from day one, and the people don't even know the half of what the establishment end of this party and what county chairs have done to me. It's been brutal, but you know what? I take that as a compliment, and I think that the fact that I'm considered an outsider is an asset rather than a liability. I'm proud of that, and because the establishment end of this party is part of the problem, not the solution. And this whole show, you've been talking about corruption in Arkansas government. Let me tell you, Donald Trump on the national level has been shining a light on corruption in D.C., and we're going to do the same thing in Arkansas. And the people who are yelling the most about Jan Morgan's presence in this race are the people who are attached to that gravy train of corruption. And yes, the cockroaches are going to scatter because we're going to shine the light on the state capitol, and it's going to be amazing. You know as well as I do, corruption costs the citizens money. Waste, fraud, and abuse in state government is costly for the taxpayers. And my specialty is exposing waste, fraud, and abuse in government as an investigative journalist. We're going to get up there and say at the state capitol and not only expose it but eliminate it, and that's going to save people money in Arkansas.
Yeah, and you know what we're also going to see, Jan? If you win, we're going to see the media actually become critical of the governor's office again. I mean, it's going to happen. The liberal media will actually, instead of praising and protecting Asa, I mean, we'll have that, but at least it'll be natural and normal, and you know, it'll be back to normal, because right now it's like they can't say a positive thing about Donald Trump, but they can't say you know, anything negative about Asa ever in the statewide media, and so we'll see that trend return real quick.
Yes, I think you're right. And in fact, some of them are already telling me behind the scenes. Of course, they won't speak these words publicly, but behind the scenes, you know, when you've got people with the newspaper and with TV stations saying, you know, we're hoping you win. And yes, Paul, I've been told that now. So I think they're seeing the writing on the wall, and I'm ready for this turnaround, and I'm ready for some honesty and integrity in journalism again in Arkansas.
Well, Jan Morgan, I appreciate it. I'd love to have you on the program tomorrow. I know it's important to get everybody out to vote. We want the consent of the governed. We want the government to reflect honestly what the people believe. It's very important to get out and go vote. I'll give you the last word.
Right. Yes. Okay. Well, folks, this is a turning point. Victory is within our grasp. The choice is yours, and we need everyone possible to get out and talk to their friends, talk to their neighbors, and get people to the polls, and let's vote. Our watch party is going to be at the Hotel Hot Springs in downtown Hot Springs. It's free. It's open to the public. We'll have food, and we've got 30 TV sets set up in the area, in the watch party area, and it's going to be a great night. Hope everyone will show up.
All right, Jan Morgan, have a great day of campaigning. I know it's going to be a busy one for you.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Thank you for having me
Thank you,
on.
Jan. Folks, very exciting times. You can feel the energy. Just look on our Facebook feed right now. You can feel the energy. I want to reference, if you read one thing or you share one thing on Facebook today, it needs to be this story: Asa and the corruption state. It's up at conduitforaction.org. You can go to the Facebook page, Conduit for Action, and share it. But Asa and the corruption state, it's the article up right now on the front page of conduitforaction.org. It is a must read. It puts things into perspective, and it exposes what we are trying to do. We're trying to cap corruption. We have 2 days left. You have 2 days to go and vote and cap corruption, or attempt to vote to cap corruption in this state. Folks, Arkansas, good morning to you. Be safe.